Welcome to the Sigma Magic software series. In this module, we will cover a brief overview of how to create a P-control chart using the Sigma Magic software. P-control charts are used to determine if a process is in control when we have discrete defectives data and the subgroup size is varying. For example, let's say we want to check if the process for tractor production is in control. Here we are interested in the number of defective tractors that are generated in the production line. In this case, the metric is discrete defectives and the subgroup size is the number of tractors produced in a week, which is varying each week. Hence, we need to use the P-chart to determine if this process is in control. The data for this exercise is given in the variables tractors produced and tractors defectives in the data file, 6 Sigma training data. To perform this analysis, the first step is to add the P-control chart template to your workbook, by clicking on Stats, and then selecting Control Charts. Once you add the template, click on Update Inputs, to open the Input dialog box, and specify the options for this analysis. In the Data section, specify the data type as discrete defectives. If the subgroup size were constant, they could be defined here as constant, but in our case the number of tractors produced are different each week, so we specify that the subgroup size is defined on the worksheet. If there were any stage information for this problem like data collected before and after improvement, we could specify the stage information, but in our case we only have one set of data, so we specify that there are no stages. In the Control Charts section, select the P-chart or leave the chart field as auto, specify that the control limits are to be estimated from data, and select the option of performing all tests, for checking if the process is in control. Click on OK, to save the options, and enter the data on the worksheet. In the worksheet, you can either copy and paste the data into the inputs area, or paste the data from a data file. Let's use the paste option for this exercise. First, let's select the data file by clicking on Options, Auto Data, use External Data File, and select 6 Sigma Training Data. Click on Paste, and select the variables tractors produced and tractors defective for the subgroup and data variables. This will paste the data into the inputs area, and then compute the analysis results. If you had manually copied and pasted the data into the inputs area, you will need to click on Compute Outputs to generate analysis results. The summary of analysis results is shown in the Notes section, and the P-control chart is shown in the Graphs section. From the Notes section, we can see that there are 52 weeks of data for this analysis. The lower and upper control limits are estimated from the binomial distribution. Note that the control limits are not necessarily constant since the subgroup size is varying. The short-term standard deviation of the process is also varying, thus impacting the control limits. If any control chart tests had failed, they would be indicated in the Notes section, and a red dot would also be placed on the control charts in the Graph section. In our case, all data points are within the control limits and no control chart tests have failed. Hence, our process is in control. A summary of the analysis results is shown in the conclusion section. We hope this module was useful to get a high-level overview of how to create the P-control chart using the Sigma Magic software. Check out the other modules in this series to learn more about the different capabilities of the Sigma Magic software. Thank you for watching.